Hello and welcome to the video. So today I want to talk to you about Puzzling Places and the new monthly pack that they have for their game. So this monthly pack is heavily featured on winter themes. So all of the puzzles have a wintry theme. Some are Christmas related, some are just winter and snow, keeping in line with the theme. So the first puzzle on this pack is the Alaskan House Exhibit. Now this puzzle is sort of a bird exhibition, sort of a museum-y style feel. It wasn't too difficult. The good thing about this puzzle is that there was lots of different art pieces and furniture on the floor and things that you could sort of use as a guide to sort of help you build the puzzle out. There was things that you could look for, such as the columns, the art pieces on the wall, the center hole in the floor where the birds are sort of sitting on a wire, and you could look for these things, and it made the puzzle a little bit more interesting and a little bit easier to follow, as opposed to some of the other puzzles where you've got a lot of landscape and it's difficult to sort of see the pieces and where they should go. In this one there is some audio in there, so you do get to hear the birds and wood creaking as you're sort of building the puzzle up. All in all, I did enjoy this one. It did feel a bit more unique to some of the other puzzles that I'd seen. I enjoyed the audio, I enjoyed the puzzle as a whole. It wasn't necessarily big. I did it on 25 pieces, and once you finish the puzzle you get to examine all the different artwork and the little birds and everything really up close. So this next puzzle is called the Cozy Cabin. This one is similar to some of the other snowy puzzles that you'll have seen in Puzzling Places. What I like to do on these kind of puzzles is to look for the outer snowy edges and try and build them up first, and then sort of close in on the main architecture in the cabin. You'll see things like the trees that you can sort of piece together if you're lucky. This one wasn't necessarily too difficult, but I did enjoy it, and there is some audio in there. Unfortunately, you can't see much going on in the windows, which, unlike the Christmas ones that you've seen or the Halloween ones, there's usually some nice Easter eggs that you can look for as you're building the puzzle. But all in all, this one was a fairly easy puzzle. Again, 25 pieces. I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy looking at it once it had been completed. Fairly decent puzzle if you want to give it a try. Up next is Gingerbread Houses. Now, I absolutely loved this puzzle. I thought this one was fantastic. Right in time for Christmas. This one is a sort of a wood board covered in flour and then surrounded by little gingerbread houses that be nicely decorated and look absolutely delicious, and then you see some tiny little gingerbread men sitting outside of the houses. The strategy with this one is similar to other puzzles that I've played on here. I would certainly build the board first from the outside to follow the rings along. That took me probably the longest amount of time, just finding those outer pieces, but it's totally worth it, and it makes the puzzle a lot more easy to navigate. This is probably one of the nicest to look at. It's got a lot more going on. There's a lot of Christmas decorations, different kinds of houses, and it really is fun. Some of the roofing areas were a bit tricky, trying to figure out which roof belongs to which house, but once you sort of build up the structures, it sort of falls into place. But it's a really fun one to do, and it's a fun one to examine once you've finished. You can see all the little intricate details, all the nice decorations and the bits of candy on the roofs and things. It's really nice. I would recommend this one to try. This next puzzle is called the Ruins of Ungru Manor, and this one absolutely caused me a nightmare to complete. So this one again is in a snowy theme. It's sort of a ruins in Estonia. I'm not familiar with the exact location. The issue I had with this puzzle, and again my strategy was fairly similar to the previous ones where I would sort of build the outside first, but the issue I had was all of the architecture sort of blended into one another, and there was no real distinction between some of the walls and areas in the puzzles. I think this one was 50 pieces, which meant the pieces were a little bit smaller, or we had more of them, and it caused me pain trying to get the walls together. Some of the pieces, the shapes of them were a little bit more complex than I'm used to. But all in all, it was a fairly decent puzzle. It just took me a little bit longer than I would have liked. I think this one took me 25 minutes, whereas the other ones took me around 10. So bear that in mind if you're playing this one. It was probably the least fun I've had in this monthly pack. Not to say it was a bad puzzle, but because of the difficulty and how much I enjoyed the others, this one would probably sit at the bottom of the list. But this one is Ruins of Ungru Manor. It was good to look at when it was finished, as well as satisfying to complete, but again, this one was probably the most challenging that I had. Up next is Ski Jump. So looking at this one from the outside, I thought this would be one of the easiest. Boy, was I wrong. So Ski Jump is exactly what you would think it is. It's a long slope and a ski lift in the snow, and this is more of a long puzzle than anything. It does have some height to it, but that's just purely for the slope and the ski lift and everything. Strategy again with this one was I wanted to build the outside edge of the snow. Tried that. It was successful for a little while until we got to the point where we needed to build the other side and where the mud was. it was a little bit more challenging to complete. I still enjoyed this one, especially when it was finished and I could do I panned the camera so it looked like I was sliding down, and I had a ton of fun with it. It was a nice puzzle to complete, and one that does fit with the winter theme. Not too challenging. I think this one was 50 pieces. I can't really remember if it was 50 or 25, but I enjoyed this one, and a nice one to do in the winter, especially if you're a fan of skiing holidays. Last puzzle in this monthly pack is the Snowclad Mini Cooper. This puzzle was very enjoyable. It looks fairly simplistic. The strategy with this one, it's fairly easy to get a good start. If you look for the tyres and then you can sort of match them up, and then you've got a good outer frame, you've got your four corners ready to go, then you can start to look for things like brake lights, headlights, frosted wing mirrors and things like that. You can also build the snowy outer edge. Once you've got the tyres done, you can do the snowy outer edge, and that gives you a bit more of a frame to work with, and it sort of removes some of the pieces that you'll be working with. I really did enjoy this one, and as you're playing the puzzle, you'll hear car noises, traffic noises, mechanic noises, and it's one that you can really sort of get into. Once you've completed the puzzle, you can examine the car, and it looks absolutely stunning. You can almost feel like you can go in there and scrape that snow off, which will be really satisfying. So really had fun with this puzzle. It was one of my favourites. I think overall my favourite was the gingerbread houses, but this was a close second. So there you go, that's the latest monthly pack from Puzzling Places, which is a winter theme. You get around 6 puzzles there, I think. Some of them are Christmas themed, some of them are just generic winter themes, but all in all, great fun to have during the winter if you enjoy puzzles. My favourite, as I said, is the gingerbread houses. Love gingerbread men, love gingerbread houses, love building them over Christmas, so that really brought out my inner child. Love playing with those, love seeing all the intricate details and decorations. Even the noises and music and the audio just seemed better in the gingerbread houses one. You do have to pay for the pack, as always. I think there is a subscription you can do to Puzzling Places that gives you all of the packs as they release, or you can buy them ad hoc, which I think this one was around $3.99 or thereabouts. But it's totally worth it if you ask me, if you enjoy puzzles and you want to keep Puzzling Places alive. There is also going to be a free Christmas puzzle, as they usually do at this time of year, and I think that arrives this week. So stay tuned for that. I'll do that one as a full video and show you what it looks like once it's released. So there you are, the Puzzling Places DLC Winter Monthly Pack. So tell me in the comments, do you play Puzzling Places? Do you enjoy puzzles? Has this convinced you to buy it or buy the monthly pack? Looking at those, which was your favourite? Which would you like to try? Let me know in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. It really helps the channel. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.